All right, let's do a quick version of what I just recorded, which is how we get this data from the NFL site into R. Now, I should point out that there are terms of service I haven't read. For today, this is a question of, I'm going to call it fair use. We are only thinking about this as an educational thing. But if it comes time to make money off of this, well, you're going to have to read those terms of service and make sure you're not violating any of those terms. It might be that there is some other way you should get this data. But for the purpose of learning, whatever. We are going to ask forgiveness, not permission. And we're just, not going to do anything too crazy. So, what are we doing? So fundamentally, let's clear out my workspace. I am ultimately interested in using the rvest package to download from a URL and give me back a table. Now, it turns out to be pretty easy on this particular set of pages. This page, all there is a table, right? There's a bunch of other stuff, but when we just say, give me the table, it works. So we take a URL, we pipe that into read underscore HTML, which is an rvest function. We pipe that into HTML table, and we get something out of it. So if I do this, here is an item I'm calling rushing list, which is just one long, nasty URL. If I pass that into read HTML, I get this thing, right? Okay, well, what can I do with this? Well, this contains all the information, but the information I want specifically is a table, and read underscore table in this case, or rather not in this case, read underscore HTML, read underscore table, file must be a string, raw, or a connection. Parentheses shouldn't matter. Okay, well, whatever. Let's see if it still works the way I've got it. Sometimes it's just like a little thing and it would be too annoying to figure out. But I've got this list, so for the passing table, I had those. Let's go ahead and take a look at the kickoff table. So I'm just grabbing that URL. Is this kickoff? So C for a vector. And I'm just going to go in here, hit next page. It's going to give me a new URL, which I'm going to put in quotes, followed by a comma. And I'm just going to keep going down as long as I'm getting data from this. And in this case, it looks like for 2020, I am out. So cool. I've got now this thing, kickoff list, that has 3 items in it, and it's just these strings, these URLs. And then I can put this into a table, kickoff list, map df. What that means is I am taking this kickoff list, and for each item, I am applying this grab table NFL function, and I am spitting back a data frame. And the map function very nicely, we got to define our function. The map function very nicely spits out a data frame for us, in this case with 54 items and 54 observations of 12 variables. Now the names here kind of suck, so let me do one further step, which is I'm going to say, let's take the call names of the kickoff table, and I'm going to replace these. Player I'm okay with. KO I'm okay with. Let's go back to, what do we got? KO, yards, yards. Well, what's this yards and what's the other yards? Yards, yards, TB, TB percent, return, return average, OSK. I don't know what any of these terms are. It's all jargon. Oh, here we go. There's some descriptions. What's this tooltip giving me? Kickoff returns yards. And then kickoff yards. So I'm just going to rename some of these items. So TD, OOB, TB percent, I'm okay with that. You can just rename all of them. I'm going to do just a few. So I'm going to pass in a vector. I don't like items 3 and 4. Those suck. 5 is okay. 6 I don't like. I don't like that percent. And I think the rest is okay. So 3, I want to be kickoff yards. 4, I want to be return yards. And 6, I'll call TB underscore PCT for percent. When I update those, oh, why did I call that kickoff list? That should be kickoff table. All right, so kickoff list is that, kickoff table is this, and here are the default column names. I'm going to replace those just to make my life a little bit easier. So now I've got the kickoff data, at least for 2020. To get it for 2019, you're going to have to go through a little bit more, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to keep this video short. What can I do with this? Well, one possibility is that some of these players are in multiple tables, so you could join the data so that you can get any individual player's full stats. But for the time being, I'm going to think just in terms of the kickoff table. What have I got with the kickoff table? Well, maybe I want to predict something. So I'm going to make a formula, which I'm going to call KO. Well, let's call it a kickoff underscore yards, which I want to be a function of whatever these other things are. Kickoff touchbacks, kickoff returns. All right, I'm just going to say everything. Little dot means everything. And then I could say, let's see what I get when I run that formula on the kickoff table. What do I get? Well, I've built a model, really simple, really kind of boring model. Oh, can't include players there. Let's just subtract off player. Try it again. There we go. That's better. So I just took that data frame that I had and I just ran a really dumb model. This looks at everything except for the player, because otherwise I'm getting a variable for every single player name, which is really just giving me what are their stats. What is the kickoff yards for each one of these players, which is not what I want. What I want is a relationship between these variables and the thing that I care about, which I'm going to say is kickoff yards, just for example's sake. And so with this data, I can build a model. And with this model, I can do other stuff, including make a prediction based on updated data, how good we might expect any particular player to get. But this video is not about that. This video is about getting that data, right? So getting the data is not hard. What is going to be hard is going to be taking this data once you've got it and adding in other data that's going to be useful, rolling it all together and making it functional. But start with a small problem, go get that data.